Hi, welcome. My gosh, two days in a row. We are streaming. It's the February half term, so we've got quite a bit of time, I have to say, to give a good look to some of the brand new decks that are actually in the format. Welcome, and I hope you can join us for the next half hour. Around about half hour to 45 minutes, and here it is. I just want to give a big shout out to my friend Pablo from TeamPIPokemon, who has just recently released a video very shortly. Check out his stream and like and subscribe TeamPIPokemon if you haven't done so already. I was watching his video. I did have in the back of my mind, you know, a kind of an idea as to how to put together the deck, and pleased to say that there was actually a lot of synergy. Worth pointing out that he didn't play the following cards, or there was different proportions of one or two cards, and I'll just go through that in a second. But the hero of the moment, as per se, is Glaceon GX. So what this actually does is it's got a fantastic ability. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's GX and EX in play in their hand, in their discard pile, have no abilities whatsoever. So it's really good, because most of the time, if you actually disrupt your opponent, they just Lele, Ultra Ball, and do all the Wonder Tag shenanigans and everything like that. But this actually puts a halt to that. So play tested a few games just before coming on the stream, just to make sure that I was up to speed with everything. And what really is attractive for this deck is the fact that when you go into kind of like that kind of stage between the beginning setup phase and the mid game, you kind of find that it's okay to just have your one energy drop. It's okay, completely okay, to not necessarily have any extreme acceleration like Max Elixir or anything like that. And the reason why is because they just are not setting up. They can't do anything. What they then have to maybe start thinking about is, if they've got, for example, a Professor Sycamore in their hand and they've got Leles, obviously the Leles would then become really useless. So you're just forcing them to discard so many different resources, and that just, you know, that comes back to get them, so to speak. Frostbillet does 90-30. Reminds me of the old school Darkrai. This is really good, because Polar Spear, as its GX attack, again, it's water double colorless, water colorless, so you can just activate it with a double colorless. Water Spear will actually, Polar Spear will actually do 50 damage for each damage counter. So if you manage to do Frost Spear right at the very beginning onto any Pokemon, that's 30, and then add that to 150 minimum at least, that's 180. That's really good. Then what you can do is you can actually up the damage output using things like Choice Band and everything like that. So that then takes it to 210. So any Lele that they managed to get on the bench is just completely obliterated. This one is really interesting. Maybe, you know, I'd like to think maybe forcing them to bench things like Lele would actually be quite cool with captivating Pokebuff. But that's just at the back of my mind at the moment. Very situational, circumstantial. But hitting a Frostbillet onto a benched Buzzwole is really good. Lycanroc suddenly becomes within range with a Choice Band, so the numbers really start to pick up. The only thing about this is that it's got metal weakness, and there are two different camps that you can stay in. You can actually think, well, I'm just going to take the metal loss anyway, because maybe Volcanion is going to start picking up speed, etc. Dustmane Necrozma is really popular at the moment. People are heavily testing that at the moment for events like Collinsville, etc. But you've also got the fact that you can outspeed them as well, to a certain extent. You've also got a backup attacker, so that's not too bad. But I think metal decks are just going to ensure that this deck is kept a little lower than you know, best deck in the format. So you know, there's always that threat, but against anything else, really powerful. So we're gonna find that in a few games. I think 2 retreat costs. I just wish that was just a 1 retreat cost as per se, because it would just be brilliant. You could just then use escape board and ensure that you don't get trapped in anything like a paralysis, lock, or sleep, or anything like that. So I did try a skateboard, but I went back to Floatstone after a couple of games. Enhance Hammer is a nice little tech. 2 was played in other lists like Pablo's list, but I'm trying to experiment with other strategies that would cause me not to have a complete auto loss. Let's say, for example, against Hooper EX. So I've seen other lists with Glaceon GX get that out as quickly as possible, and then Zoroark GX, and you also have Tapu Lele, but you've just got a whole load of GXs. You wouldn't then be able to do anything against Hooper. You can only do Ram for 20. They would just strip all your energies, and Eevee can't even do anything. So I did give that a little bit of thought, and then I decided to put just a single stand in, which goes very nicely with Floatstone. So you could you could Guzma, suddenly have your free retreater. You can also use that as a great attacker. So standard is like my anti Hooper EX set. I did give a thought as to what I could put in there to try and stop Mildex. There is a card out there that I did consider. I'm just going to bring it up. It's actually the non-EX version of Manaphy. So let's say, for example, you're up against a deck that's just completely stripping you of energies. If you manage to get 1 water energy onto Manaphy and that's your active, you can then shuffle 5 water energy cards to your deck from your discard pile, and that would mean to say that you don't actually have a chance of getting decked out, which would be really good. Like if you got 5 cards in 5 energy cards in your discard pile, and you attach your water, and then you shuffle. That's great. If you then get Team Rocket's Handiworked, right? That can only rip 4 cards from your discard pile. So if those 5 that you shuffle back in are water, and they've also just managed to crushing hammer you, what you'll then be able to do is you'll be able to just draw the water energy, just attach it, and then do deep currents again. So I did consider that. I think it's a little bit situation, a little bit circumstantial, but I think it's definitely worth keeping in the back of your mind, just in case this deck does get traction and you want to take it forward to beat things like that. Zoroark GX, excellent for trade. Writer's beating. You don't use Tricks of GX. The GX attack that you want to use very sparingly, right at the end, right at the end, is Polar Spear. Excuse me. And let's just have a look at the trainers. So you can go up to 2 Enhance Hammer, that's absolutely fine. I think 2 Field Blower is just right. 4 bars at a time, so you don't mind all like one-offs that you can play. And I kind of wish that I could play 1.5 Acerola, but I just simply don't want that in the start of my hand. I'll start the game in my hand. Red card. Okay, so what you tend to do is you tend to set up everything right at the very beginning, and then you tend to red card them from 6 to 4, and that allows you then to use something like Cynthia. It allows you to use your Bridget, and just puts them back again. So it allows you to just have that extra turn to put the water energy and then hopefully the double colorless. Red card's great because you can just discard that as well once you get to a stage where they they have full cards in their hand, or they have fewer cards in their hand, because you actually get to a crunchy stage right in the middle of the game where you find that they just have full cards. So you don't necessarily want to red card them too much if they're just, they've just got like two or three cards in their hand. And there's a nagging thought in my mind: why can't I drop down from 4 red card to 3 red card and play a delinquent? So that could be actually quite good, because if you run the red card and then you are in that mid game where you're just overpowering them, so to speak, you can then discard any stadium in play. If you do, your opponent discards 3 cards in his or her hand. The only issue with that is that this deck doesn't run stadiums, so I don't think that's as good a move in practice as I kind of think it is in theory. 4N just goes with the theme of disruption as well, so that's pretty useful. And the energy count is 8 water energy and 4 double colorless, and the double colorless is pretty vital. I think you have to make a decision, kind of like during the course of the game, do I put further energies onto EVs to get the Glaceons and then rely on double colors? Because double colors, if you really need that double colors, you're then going to have to use your puzzle of time to try and get them if they're in the discard pile, if they've been enhanced hammer, if they're being removed. So you really have to make a decision. It's quite forgiving if you just get double colorless ripped, because you think, all right, okay, well, that's fine, you're just ripping my energies, but I'm still setting up, that's not a problem at all. I think at a stage also what happens is if you're being attacked by like a bench hitter, you then have to make the decision to attach maybe the water energy onto a Zoroark and use that as a finisher. But remember, Zoroark actually caps out at 120, 150 with choice band, so you just have to play that really well. And there's also a stage right in the middle of the games where they just throw like a non-GX attacker and force a 7 prize game, so you just have to be a little bit careful when you're using things like Guzma. Don't chuck those away, freely. But there you go. So that's the deck. Let's take a few games on. So I did hit quite a bit of a win streak. Up against a Metal Darkness deck right at the very beginning. That's not very healthy. We'll see how it goes. We win the coin flip. If you are watching this, this is being recorded for the channel. If you are watching this, do join us on the YouTube chat. Really appreciate it. I do have Discord, but I'm just trying to establish a few more numbers. Otherwise, that Discord just stays empty. But chat on the YouTube, I do get to see it. All right, okay, so I'm quite intrigued to see what this is, because this is a Darkness Metal deck, and he's got Grass Sleeve, so I have no idea what he's doing. I'm going first, so I'm going to put the EV. What you want to do is you want to put the EV active as quickly as possible. You want to try that. Not nice to go second. I think the worst choice to start off with is Lele, obviously, and then like Zora, but this is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Energy Evolution. I'm going to play games quite quickly, so hopefully I won't be misplaying or anything like that, just to try and show the deck off. So your Cynthia, no, sorry, not Cynthia, Bridget. Just have a quick look through the deck. Got the Zoroark. They're okay. We're going to be able to pull off one more Glaceon GX. Energy count seems to be fine. Ace Roller's in there, red cards in there, and all of my puzzles are in there as well. So far so good. Not a problem at all. Let's get that. Zora, Eevee, just check what's in my hand. Oh yeah, I've got another Glaceon in my hand, so shouldn't forget that. Show cards should be okay for the next turn because I've got a Cynthia. Tempted to put the Floatstone down, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to pass. Nice thing is that I've got the Glaceon GX in my hand, so I can then do the energy attachment. I'm going to try and go for the double colourless. No point in attaching the water energy right now and then Cynthia. I think he's going to fill his bench, so that's going to be quite nice for my stand-in Zoroark. I'm going to put the float stone on the Zora to... but I only have like one more Zora. So I'd really like to get the trade-ins as quickly as possible. Okay, so I think we can see where this game is going. He's just going to start attaching to Dustmane and just do it the difficult way. So I've got a Zoroark GX now in play. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 160, 70, 80, 90. So it's actually going to be okay if I do find a Zoroark and then stand in. I could actually surprise him and just get a retaliatory hit in. So I'm going to put the float stone there. I'm going to evolve to Glaceon again. Don't really want to end him, so I'm going to trade just in case I have the double colourless. Okay, right. No point in red carding him at the moment, so I'm just going to Cynthia. Right. Oh, excellent. I actually ripped the double colourless. That's absolutely fine. I've got double colourless as well for the next one too. So I'm going to frost bullet. So if I hit 30, he's down to 160, and then 150. Just getting the numbers right. 90, 180, and 90, 180. So I can actually frost bullet him. I'm going to hit that for 30. Where in actual fact, what I could do is I could hit the Zoroark, or I could hit the Magnemite as well. And do you know what? I'm going to actually hit the Magnemite. That was a very difficult decision, that one. 30, 60, 90, 20, 150, 60, 70, 80. So if I manage to do a single hit on the Dustmane next, and if I do manage to get like a Guzma, that would be awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Zoroark there. What am I going to do? We've got a choice band as well that we can attach. I'm going to put the I'm going to put the water energy down. That's absolutely fine. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade. Kind of thinking, is it really worth me keeping the Ace Roller, because at some stage he's just going to be one hit carrying me anyway. So I can always bring it back as well. I've also got a Glaceon in hand, so that's not very useful right now. So I'm actually gonna ditch the Glaceon. Okay, I've got another Zoroark. So I'm going to put that down. But what I would like to do is I would like to get the Zoroark. So I've got another attacker. I'm going to wait. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit him with Frost Bullet, knock out the active Zoroark, and I'm going to hit 30 onto the benched. Necrozma. I'm just hesitating because I keep on wanting to try and call. I keep on wanting to call that. Solgaleo. Okay, my next target is this Magnemite. I do have to... Oh, great. Forgot about some clips. It's absolutely fine. He just nails me for 500. That's brilliant. 30, 60, 90, 120, 130, 40, 50, 60. So, I think 150. So I can actually Polar Spear him. Knock him out that way. I could do 20, 40, 60, 80. So probably best for me to Polar Spear him at this stage. Knock all his... And I will also have the fact that Freezing Gaze is in effect. So I'm going to do that. And I need the choice band as well. So there we go. There's a lot of little micro decisions in this. Do I need the Ultra Ball? I do need the Ultra Ball. But I'm going to put down the Zoroark GX. At this stage, I don't need Water Energy. So I'm going to trade the Water Energy. Alright, fantastic. Got the red card, so I'm going to disrupt him. Just in case he's gathering a whole host of things to just bring out that Magnezone. I want to surprise him with something. I want to surprise him with the Zoroark. But I can also attack with Zoroark GX. I can attack for 20, 40, 60, 80. 30, 60, 90, 120, 130 with the Zoroark, the stand-in Zoroark. So I need to trade anyway. And I'm going to get rid of the Ultra Ball because I've got absolutely nothing to Ultra Ball away. All of it is precious. I've got a Puzzle of Time, so that is very, very useful. And now I just do the Frost Spear, knocking out his Necrozma. 2 prizes away from winning. Got the Eevee. I think I've got enough. Okay, so this is one of the new cards, Radiant Star. For each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, attach a Metal Energy card from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. I'm assuming that he's going to be doing it on his active Prism. And at this stage, I really want to now start attacking with Zoroark GX. That's the Radiant Star. Right, okay, so at this stage I now want to attach. He hasn't got any special energies in place, so I'm going to trade the Enhanced Hammer. Now I do have a Lele. Corona Impact will mean that my opponent can't attack during their next turn, so I'm going to Gizmo up the Magnemite. I don't want any kind of surprises. And I'm going to retreat and attack with the Zoroark GX. Just check my discard pile, just for anything that needs to be done. I should be okay. I'm gonna maximize the damage that Zoroark can do. Search for a supporter. I'm going to get the N so I can just trade it. So trade the N. What do I do? Do I just double red card? I think I'm going to double red card at this stage. Because if I do get end, I don't want to draw into them. Right. I'm going to do Writer's Beating, and I'm hoping that his Zoroark is what I can target next. If he has a Guzma, he's going to take out the Glaceon. He'll go down to 2 prizes. And then what I could do is I can Guzma back. If he plays the Guzma, he can't end. If he ends, he can't Guzma out. Alright, what on earth is this? Okay, so this is Dialga Timeless GX. Take another turn after this one. He's already used his GX attack, so that's just... I'm not quite sure why that's there. And I believe I have game now. So there we go. Well played. There we go. Frost bullets, and I think I'll just land it on that. But that was really, really interesting because this is supposed to be a deck that is metal. It's supposed to overcome Glaceon GX, but careful use of the Zoroarks, it should be okay. So it's a good deck. Lucas Mendes, that's a great game. Thank you so much. Brilliant. And we'll do one more game, just to one more really good game, just to showcase what's going on. Okay. So, oh, this is interesting. Okay. Potentially Greninja with an Espeon, GX, or it could be Empoleon. So again, this looks as if it's one of the brand new decks. It's a shame I haven't got an Eevee in my starting hand. My opponent, however, does have an Eevee in their starting hand, so this could be a race to try and get the first lock on. Okay. Don't want to throw my Gizmo away. But I need the N. So there we go. There we go. Now I could have thrown the rescue stretcher, but just felt that it might need to be used later on, because I think this is going to be a pretty long exchange. What else did I throw away? I threw the Gizmo, threw the choice band. Okay. Right, so I'm now going to N. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. That is not too bad at all. So I'm just going to wait now. And I've got the first energy down, so that is that's very advantageous. I think this is the mirror, but it will be really interesting to see what my opponent is doing. So, is there any point in Zoroark's see, maybe I should have kept that rescue stretcher. No, maybe I should have kept that choice band and discarded the rescue stretcher. If I kept the choice band, I could do 120 to him, or I could do 60 damage to him. 30, 60, 90, 120. This is difficult. It says you can't do it. Can't do the reverse. And I believe that's the right play. And just hurling him that way, you can just do a 90 to that. If I Ultra Ball the Zoroark away, I can get an Eevee, but I don't want it to. I don't want it to be hit. That's a problem now. Okay, but I don't think he's going to hit the Eevee as per se. The issue now is that, well, let's see how it goes. So that's 130. He can't keep that active. He shouldn't attach energy to it. Now there has to be a stage where he either is behind on the prize or on the damage infliction, or we break his lock. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing again. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so I believe I can attach and then Frost Spear him, lock him completely. Frost Bullet, I should say, and hit his Eevee. Now if it's my opponent, he would be putting the Luminous Barrier Ninetales up, and then what I do is I go for the Lele. 60, 90. And I do believe I can now pop a double colourless on there, and then it just feels like cheating. It really does, honestly. When you can use your Lele's but they can't use theirs. Okay. I'm gonna knock out that Eevee. So I'm just one prize away. Oh, hold on, no. Well, I'm 3 prizes away, but I was just thinking ahead of myself. Now, what's he going to do? He is going to a Zoroark, but that he's still stuck. And the only thing that he's able to do is hit that. So he's now restricting his bench. And this is where the Zoroark just shines now. And now what do I do? $40, 80. I do need to do something. And he does have a Lele in his hand as well, that's the thing. Oh, I can always evolve. Let's evolve. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure why he gave up. There you go. That didn't seem to be a complete match, so I'm going to play just a final one. But you can see now why I believe you need something else in there, like Zoroark, standing Zoroark. I did also consider a Oranguru, like a just ordinary Oranguru, not even for the the drawing ability, but just to get that hit on things like Hooper. Wow, look at that hand. Completely gives away my strategy. Yeah, I've got Glaceon, I've got red card. There you go. Deal with it. Okay. So we have a Zoroark. Yeah, kind of wish I kept that choice band earlier. Alright, this is nice. So Miss Magius, is that the one that stops? The Miss Magius stops. Is it special energy? It's like Chaos Wheel. Your opponent can't do something. So I'm tempted to put the double colourless then, and then I can put the double colourless on the Zora, and then the third turn I can. I'm gonna do that. I've forgotten what Miss Magius does. I think it's the Chaos Wheel one. So I'm not actually quite sure what to do until I see the mismatches. Come on. 20, 40. 40 would knock it out. Get a red card in. And Miss Magis is weak to darkness. So there we go. And now I'm going to trade the rescue stretcher, which is what I should have done in the second game. Okay. Bye. There we go. Which is, that's okay. I was going to end him anyway. Okay, what is it? 60 GG. I think it is game anyway. Because I just do 60 anyway, so I knock him out. Okay, so quite consistent, I have to say. Just right speeding. Whole thing. Okay. There's the deck test. I think three games in a row. It's alright. And I played 2 games just to get used to the deck. Before I actually came on. It's like a 5-game streak straight away. So I do believe it's actually a really strong deck. Definitely recommend that it gets tested. I think there's good synergy in it, and if it starts to handle the situation where you are playing against metal, it's really, really strong. So the only thing that I would like to put in there with regards to things like Ninetales, because that was actually quite sticky. The only thing that I would like to put in there is an Oranguru. So while I do that, I even thought about the new Oranguru, where it's put 3 cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck in any order. Just to try and tackle those horrible energy discard decks, and it would prevent you from having all your energies ripped off continuously. You could just power it with that. So there is that. I think if you are up against mill decks, you're trying to get Psychic off, it may not necessarily be the best one. So what's the other one? That's not even compatible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the brand new Oranguru, just give it show it some love, give it some appreciation, and I'm going to keep that in there. I think that's actually got some really good synergy as well, potentially with trade. So you're not really worrying about what it is that you're actually discarding. You just stack it straight to the bottom of your deck. I think if you do that, then it might be really interesting to then play things like Looker. There was also a Professor Sycamore that was in the set, but I actually took it out for Cynthia because I just do not like the idea of discarding stuff unnecessarily. So there you go. That's the deck. hope you've enjoyed watching these 3 games, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe to TeamPIPokemon on our YouTube channel, and support us on TeamPIPokemon. That's the facebook.com/TeamPIPokemon, and we shall see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.